Allow the two
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dodo.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Maiyegun's brunch time. Put it that way, brunch time with Maiyegun. Read the caption, the description, grab your phone, share it, like the broadcast. Then dial the number on the screen whenever you want. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Fubara, I've started acting, and as you probably should know, it is going to be an interesting week ahead. For everyone watching this, and you are possibly on your way to work or you are at work already, of course you can still listen to this like a podcast, like I always love to remind us, okay? And for those who have the time, it is always an open mic. You can call in anytime. But majority of us actually prefers that Maiyegun kind of, you know, deliver everything he has for us first before we call in. No, the brunch time is not like that. You can be part of it right from the moment you join. So share this. Thank you so much. Allah's ill. Allah's real, rather. The Oba of Benin has been dragged to court, and the entire Benin, home and abroad, are erupting in anger. Why? So today, I'm sorry for the late start. You know, it's brunch time. It could start anytime. It could start like an hour before now, probably an hour after now. But what is most important is that it is an appetizer for what is still to come on Maiyegun's Diary Politico, the Temple of Truth, later tonight. That's what we call it. That's why we call it the brunch, a mixture of breakfast and lunch. Well, there has been trouble, storm in the teacup again. This time around, it is from the Rive State of trouble. You remember when Tifnumbu called a peace meeting? Or do you want me to kind of take you back to make it more understandable for a lot of us, right? Let's take a timeline. Wike was governor of Rive State. Today is the FCT minister. When Wike was governor, he was in PDP, and he was under investigation for corruption when Bokwari of APC was the president. Now, because Wike could not be arrested because of immunity, they went after the accountant general of Rive State, who happened to be Fubara. Fubara, as the accountant general, helped, according to EFCC, helped Wike to move over 450 billion naira Rive State money. But they couldn't get Wike, so they wanted Fubara. The last 2 years of Wike, this is between 2021 and 2023, Fubara became the anointed candidate of Wike just to protect himself. Because if they grab Fubara, then Wike is finished in his own belief. And that is why Wike went all hog the moment Tifnumbu of APC promised him immunity from all of his crimes. This is the background. And this was why Wike ensured that not only did Fubara become governor, to ensure that Fubara is closely monitored, he ensured that over 80% of supposed Fubara's government appointee were Wike's appointee, including those who were commissioners under Wike. All this to protect himself. It didn't stop there. The local government, the entire local government chairman in Rive State, were also appointed by Wike. Then finally, the State House of Assembly, where Wike printed the only numbers of House of Assembly seats in Rive State, just for, as a PDP tickets. Therefore, all of the all of the PDP House of Assembly members in Rive State, they got their tickets, nominations, unopposed, because their job was also to monitor Fubara. In case, if after securing immunity for himself with Tifnumbu, securing immunity for Fubara wanted, because you know something, 2 years before the end of Wike's term, Fubara no longer lived in his own house. They had to house him inside the government house to prevent the EFCC from arresting him. Because once they did, you probably have a lot of stories right now, evidence of Wike's looting. But I think he went over and beyond by also demanding for 30% of all revenues to Rive State. And also, Fubara as governor cannot sign any contract or any check that is above 100 million naira without the approval of Wike. Now, this was all the arrangement they all went into. They rigged themselves, they did all they could, they got all the court coverage to legalize all the riggings and all of that, yeah? Then the Rive State people sort of just, well, let go. Only for them to start hearing again that, while I don't start to. Because number one, Fubara have started feeling like, is he a governor? Or is he just an extension of Wike government, which is just Wike's third term? And it was so stiffened up that his own supposed commissioners, they kind of don't even see him as governor. When they are addressing Wike, they address him as Oga. When they are addressing Fubara, they address him as Sim. Now, this is how they were kind of operating until maybe some other people who felt like, oh, more. You be Mumu. How could you like settle for this? That moment, the first reaction was to stop whatever arrangement he had with Wike when it comes to money. And they said it. There will be no 30% for Wike. And there will be no Fubara's taking an order or approval from him before he can award a contract. And within a space of 2 months, Fubara was so proud to have been able to award contract without borrowing a penny. Okay, it was able to award, number one, I think it was able to pay outstanding pensioners. It was able to pay outstanding workers. It was also able to kind of promote the workers of Rive State for the first time and able to pay them. And finally, it was able to actually award contracts that is, according to them, over 40 billion naira contracts without borrowing a penny. So by so doing, he automatically sort of steered the honest nest. I mean, sorry, honest nest, I'll be honest nest also. It caused trouble. So the trouble is that Wike now triggered all of his base, his own supposed structure. And he started telling everybody that they spent so much to make him governor. And so much is expected in return in order to maintain the structure for future elections. That it wasn't, the money was not for Wike to spend. The money that they asked Fubara to be paying to Wike is the money to maintain the structure that made Fubara governor. But Fubara has stopped paying that and funding that structure. Therefore, Fubara is out to destroy Wike's structure of criminality. That was the genesis. So, are you up to date now? So, Wike now activated his boys. Oh yeah, go and impeach him. Impeach who? By then, it was obvious that it was only out of respect that Fubara was actually following the orders of Wike. And also, knowing that Wike is really, really very cold-hearted when it comes to power, is very, very brutal. So he waited for him to clear all the legal obstacles too. Therefore, the only option would be to try to impeach him, which indeed would be like drinking his own poison. So the stage was set. They were going to try it anyway. So the House of Assembly, who were all supposed to be loyal to Wike, surprisingly, 3 or 4 of them, okay, did not buy into the idea of going after Fubara. Because it's now obvious, Fubara is now the one holding the key to the treasury. He is the one with money now. Where the Wike is now X. The person with money now, if he can use it well, he can gather enough sycophants who are also going to go after and speak for him. That will be the beginning if you want to go after your master. Okay? So Fubara was able to stop the impeachment plot, if you remember, by burning down the State House of Assembly chamber. Yeah. Surprisingly, from nowhere, there was a bomb or a blast inside the State House of Assembly. The money that they want to come and initiate impeachment move against him. That was what stopped the impeachment move and prompted the closure of the House of Assembly and prompted again the intervention of Nnamdi, who now called for a peace meeting in Abuja. Peace meeting where resolution was read, and they were all supposed to go and obey it. So for some time, I think they did. Because those who are in the majority, PDP, they immediately decamped to APC to receive cover, Nnamdi's cover. There was no division in PDP by their law. If there is no division in your party, you cannot leave that party without resigning your position. That was their law. So they ran to Nnamdi because immediately Fubara's gang, they declared their seats vacant. And they wrote to the INEC. PDP said, okay, conduct another elections. So then Nnamdi intervened. The macho Druggy came out and said, I'm ordering you, all of you, to maintain status quo. And he also told Fubara, you see these 27 people, 27 PDP House of Assembly members, they have run to me, and I'm going to give them cover. So their seats remain secure. Whether they violate any law or no law, doesn't matter. They are with me, and I cannot push them out. They've run to APC. Now they are APC. But to Fubara, they don't exist, except for Nnamdi's resolution. So those who resigned, the loyalists of Wike who resigned during the imbroglio, Nnamdi told them to go back. These were people who have openly declared their, where they belong. But Nnamdi resolution that they called a peace resolution said all of them should go and stay together. Anyway, staying together didn't last. Okay? Because right now, where Fubara has now decided to finally go after Wike's men, because according to him, they continue to stand in sabotage of his government, and he can no longer take it. So the first move is to elect his own speaker, Fubara speaker. And this, let me show you how that happened. This was yesterday.
Recall that the former Speaker, Right Honorable Edison Ogereye Ehie, Esquire, DSS-ROS, PhD, after successfully pioneering the affairs of the House and also duly recognized as the authentic Speaker by an order of the Rive State High Court, given under the hand of Justice Danagogo, and on the 12th day of December 2023, tendered his resignation on the 29th December 2023. I want to thank you, distinguished honorable members, for electing me as the new speaker, pursuant to the resignation of Right Honorable Edison Ogereyen Ehie, DSS-RS, PhD. And in line with Section 92, Sub 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, you will agree with me that after the House last sat on 13th of December 2023 and adjourned synodically, there has been an avalanche of legislative rascality perpetrated by the 25 former members of the 10th Rive State House of Assembly, led by the former Speaker, Right Honorable Martins Chike Ameule. These former members being fully aware of the provision of Section 1091 sub G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Party, APC, and on 11th of December 2023, consequently, the Right Honorable Edison Ogereyen Ehie, on the 13th of December 2023, wrote to the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, declaring the seats of the 25 lawmakers vacant in line with Section 1091G and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Further, my distinguished colleagues, there are plethora of cases pending in our courts further to the defection of the former lawmakers. All laws, plenary sections, and actions taken by the illegal House are hereby declared void and a nullity in the eyes of the law by virtue of the judgments of Lord Denning in the celebrated case of McFoy versus UAC, 1961. Lord Denning held in that case that you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. Particularly, Lord Denning stated, if an act is void, then it is in law a nullity. It is not only bad, but incurably bad. There is no need for an order of courts to set it aside. It automatically null and void without more ado, though it is sometimes more convenient to have the courts declare it to be so, and every proceeding which is founded on. It is also bad and incurably bad. You cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stay there. It will collapse. The executive arm, the judiciary, and the general public are hereby called upon to disregard every purported laws enacted by the illegal assembly, as they all amount to nothing and they are exercised in futility. Furthermore, this House will want to most respectfully urge and call on His Excellency, the Governor of Rive State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, Grand Service Star of Rive State, to desist forthwith from further dealings with the 25 lawmakers in whatever guise. Those members are merely floating and do not have any landing ground or anywhere to bat their ship since their defection to the All Progressive Congress on the 11th day of December 2023. This House is the legal and constitutionally recognized House by virtue of the defection and is ready to receive correspondence from and work with His Excellency. Distinguished colleagues, let me thank you once again. I know I can count on your unalloyed and unwavering support as we work with His Excellency, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, in moving our dear Rive State, in promoting the progress and welfare of our dear states. As the new speaker, I have one constitutional responsibility, and it is to work for the growth and development of Rivers people and our dear state. I have already directed the clerk to notify His Excellency, the Governor, that a new leadership has emerged in the Rive State House of Assembly and that we are ready to work for Rivers people.
We've heard our speaker that we are very much in line with whatever that we want to achieve in this administration, which is excellency. But away from that, we want to further warn that if His Excellency ever have any dealing with those former members, that we, the 10th Assembly, the original members of the 10th Assembly, who by the special grace of God, by constitutional powers, we form the right quorum to seize and to address the business of the day. We want to tell His Excellency that should he, in any reason, go about doing any business or dealings with those former members, who have no choice than to raise our hammers, and you all know what it means, to commence an impeachment proceedings against him.
Wahala not too much. She wahala not too much like this, eh? Meanwhile, wahala never starts. It is just brewing. So they are going to begin to burn properties in Rive State soon. The police are going to start shooting at the Fubara himself soon. The scenario of Rotifmi Amechi is going to replay itself on Fubara, but Fubara will kind of like come out better because he's the executive governor, where the assembly can sit. I mean, they've actually even amended their law. Even if Tinubu declares state of emergency, he can't remove governor. Now the House of Assembly ain't go come out. But you remember that time of Obasanjo? So that is why sometimes you can see what desperation can do to you. Miscalculation. Where a Wike possibly miscalculated. And now he is so desperate because you can't impeach him. If you impeach him, you would need to, possibly get his deputy impeached as well. Because it seems that they are together. Then, if you impeach both of them, you would have to appoint speaker as the governor, the acting governor. So the whole thing is that even if you declare state of emergency, Fubara will still be there. So it is now going to be yam, pepper, scatter, scatter. Ishuata, yon, right? In Rive State. But let's move away from Rive State and stop in Benin. There has been wahala brewing. The wahala that a lot of people believe is politically motivated. Others believe that no, it is not. But here is the situation. About 2-3 weeks ago, the Oba of Benin suspended 2 chiefs for meeting Ooni of Ife. But before then, there's been kind of like an ongoing plan to replicate what Gandola did with the Kano Emirate. There used to be one emir of Kano controlling so many of their emirates, and they say is the emir of Kano. But because of the Sanusi saga, that Sanusi was asking the State House of Assembly to impeach Gandola for collecting dollar bribe on video, pocketing it into his Babariga mobile bank. So because of that, so Sanusi had to go. So Gandola removed Sanusi as emir, and that used to be like a revered seat. You understand? So when Gandola removed Sanusi, so he now created 7 emirates or so. Okay? So reducing the influence of the emir of Kano by creating emirates where they are not just local chiefs, they are emirs themselves too. Emir of Bishi, emir of Biu, emir of this or that. So they said there's a similar plan in Edo State to whittle down the influence of Oba of Benin. And you know that the Benin people and their traditional Oba, now even yesterday I know say Oba of Benin is called the God King. Is that really, is that really a thing? That's how much they revered him. Okay? And somehow, they believe that it is a sacrilege to want to use politics, all right, to whittle down the influence of the Oba. Something that is not created by the palace will not be created from outside the palace. And anyone from within the palace is not expected to be part of anything that is being plotted from outside the palace. Something like this. So that has now become an issue whereby the suspended chiefs have now taken the Oba to court. And again, that is a sacrilege. The Benin people believe that if not because of Lord Lugard and their agents, the palace of the Oba is where the palace of Oba is a court. Oba himself is a judge. A judge, they believe, appointed by gods themselves, is the representatives of the gods. And among so many other declining cultures and traditions across Nigeria, the Benin people strongly hold that faith and believe that the Oba is revered. And if you are a genuine Benin, from Benin, you will never be part of any plot, okay, to whittle down the influence of that institution. But it is being whittled down. People are reacting. Obaseki is being blamed. Obaseki is being blamed for being behind it. But Obaseki is denying that no, it has nothing to do with it. It is justified between chiefs. Well, people do not believe him. Here is a bit of a background story reported by the Benin TV.
Of the Nigerian Television Authority, led by its Agwe Zonal Director, Benin Network Center, Mrs. Pauline Igbano, in his palace, where he honored her, Obayawa II assured that Edo State government would not accede to the request of disgruntled dukes who spearheaded a petition in November 2022. The petition was seeking the creation of parallel Benin traditional councils across the 7 local government areas in Benin Kingdom. The royal father appreciated Governor Obaseki for not acceding to such requests and called on loyalists to rally, support, and defend Benin culture and tradition, which belong to Nigerians and remain a source of pride to everyone. His Royal Majesty Obayawa II, who clarified that being a Benin Duke is not a political appointment but a cultural assignment, one that the Benin throne would not tolerate a situation where the same structure that was created by Oba Palace would be used to rubbish Benin culture and tradition by way of scheming or scamming.
You cannot create something that will bring us down, for goodness sake. You created a legal structure. The authority they have emanates from here. It's not a political appointment, it's a cultural assignment. We thank Godwin Obaseki for not acceding to that their request, for not giving them any listening ear. And I do hope he will not. We will continue to work hard to build upon the legacy of our ancestors.
That's Omonoba Nedo, the Oba of Benin. Appreciating Obaseki for not using his power to accede to the request of some people who are trying to usurp the power of the Oba of Benin. And like I said, it doesn't matter how you feel about this. If you are not from Benin, you are never going to really understand how it feels. I mean, again, a lot of you might call it anything, but there are still people that despite all of the infiltration, manipulation, adulteration to different traditions and cultures everywhere, including that of Benin, there are still some remnants of originality left There are still original people, indigenous people who hold this belief very strongly, no matter how you see it, no matter how the whole place is changing. Even when the law in Nigeria has reduced the Obas to just ceremonial, figureheads. Many people don't see it that way. And like I said, if you're not from there, you may never really understand it. About early in the morning, early momo, you want to carry your battle court in Benin, in his kingdom. And you know that it's so unfortunate that when Aduke, my Aduke, our own Aduke, I don't know if you're watching, Aduke continued to insist on education, the importance of education, the the power of educated populace. You understand what I mean now? Like, a lot of us can easily get pissed off if somebody says something that we believe is insulting to the traditional institutions that we were from, wherever we come from. But yet we are not offended that all those institutions, as historical as they are, they are just now appearing or existing on a mere paper that ordinary local government chairman can tear apart, collect his crown, and demolish his palace and erase the entire title. You will, of course, you will protest, you will fight, you will be like, hey, yeah, but last. The law says now local government, they control the traditional institutions everywhere, not even states. It's like the Obas, the traditional institution, they put them under the local government. But for the sake of fakeness that Nigeria is, they call them first class Oba, second class Oba. But in reality, they are just a decorative monuments to remind us of our history. There is no real authority anywhere, right? But that again will not deny the fact that no matter all of this adulteration, all of this manipulation and this, right, distortions, right, there are people who still hold this belief very strongly. And true to it as well. A lot will die for it, for that belief. And if you probably haven't seen how people hold their culture and tradition so revered, then maybe you should check the Edo people. Sometimes what they will say to you may not make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to you. Okay? But it makes a lot of sense to them. That's probably why, if history is really taught, if education is in Nigeria, you will realize that if there's anything that is worth fighting for, maybe this one, maybe not this way, but it is just also to remind the rest of you that if you value your culture and tradition, your traditional institutions, if you value them so much, read the book, read the fake laws that actually now guards them. And you realize that any of your Oba can actually be arrested and handcuffed. Any of your first class, including Oba of Benin, can be dragged to any court. Your culture and our tradition have been already, sort of modded, like it's already been rolled in the mud. We watch them do it, desecrated, politicized. Now, in most places, we now have the political traditional rulers. People who are supposed to be speaking for their people, they are now speaking against their people. So for those who still have theirs left, well, don't call them mad. This is how strong people can defend this tradition and culture. Don't take our Oba to court. And early Momo in Benin High Court too. The Benins were there. You can't do that. That is so illegal in the face of your Nigeria law. You cannot intimidate the court or stop them from doing their work. You should join us to demand for a true federal system whereby everyone can have an autonomy, autonomous regions, even if you don't want to support the breakup of Nigeria right away. When you look at that fake document that you call the 1999 Constitution, you will realize that majority of us are just living on the fables and lies they told us. In reality, most of the things they told us to be proud of, they don't exist anymore. So all of them, in that same court premises, could be arrested, and the law says so, but the tradition says no. Abi, this is Benin, but you have no idea. All of us can do this now. Okay, we can. But the system is already so broken without your consent, without my consent, without any of us's consent. It's all foisted on us. That is why we are advocating for the breakup of that contraption. It is to save you. It is to save whatever is left of us. Save us from this identity crisis. Your institutions will be rubbished. Okay? And it has gotten to a stage whereby very soon you are going to see the surge in campaign by so many groups demanding for the complete eradication of traditional rulers. It's going to be gradual. It's going to happen. A lot of people believe that they have outlived their relevance. But if you don't want that, if you don't want your own traditionals to be erased, gradually and gradually, you will demand for the renegotiation of this contraption. It's for your good, it's for my own good too. But the current one is not for anybody's good. No, it's not. I mean, a journalist, right, did an investigation on a particular government appointee. And the investigation came back as confirmed. There was an establishment of corruption perpetuated by this government appointee. Adejoke Adefolure happened to be the former deputy governor of Lagos State, to Fashola. Then later, an appointed SA, senior special advisor to Bokwari on Millennium Development Goals, MDG. Maybe you know Millennium Development Goal. Goal 1, food. Goal 2, housing. Goal 3, education. Goal 4, healthcare. Goal 5, this. Goal 6, all that. They should have all the goals. It's about 15 of them. These are the goals they believe could address the basic urgent need of the people to tackle poverty. And they have been at it for God knows since when. Now, Bokwari appointed this woman as his special advisor on Millennium Development Goals. And they are usually there to carry out some projects like reconstruction of schools, or even building or constructing new buildings in schools. So they have special project. That special project, right, is normally meant for the UBEC, Universal Basic Education to start with, or Universal Healthcare, whatever. They shall have all the names like that, okay? So this was supposed to be under the Ministry of Education, but Adejoke Adefolure used their office to award over 400 million naira contracts to a restaurant in Abuja. And the restaurant was supposed to build 2 blocks of a classroom 2 block of classrooms in somewhere in Lagos, another 2 block of classrooms somewhere in Ondo, right? These 2 classrooms were not built, but the money was paid out, and these journalists investigated, presented all the evidence, including the bank accounts where the money was moved into, the names of the restaurants, and all of that. And Adejoke Adefolure is walking about right now. She is walking about right now as a free person. The money is gone. There's no school built. The police didn't investigate to say, oh, thank you so much for bringing this to our notice. The EFCC didn't investigate. The police IG declared the journalist wanted. When they couldn't find him, they decided to kidnap him. Of course, they got him. He was kidnapped in Lagos. Kept incommunicado from his family. Nobody knew his whereabouts. Then his colleagues started raising the alarm. What the hell? What's going on? Free Daniel Ojukwu. Free Daniel Ojukwu. Suddenly, they said they are charging him for cyberbullying. He is bullying the former SSA to president. That his report is bullying. And that is why the police arrested him. They didn't arrest him. There was no arrest warrant, no nothing. He was kidnapped, and it's been over 7 days now, by the way. Somebody who is doing his job to possibly bring to the notice of the authority that a crime has been committed is meant to come around, and his report should be used as evidence, Abi, while the police carry out their investigation and invite the said person. But no, the journalist was kidnapped and locked up. There is no court appearance, no court trial, no nothing, until people raise alarm. Take a look at him inside the office of the police IG when they moved him to Abuja 4 days ago. A journalist, too. EFCC chairman still dey for jail. Politician weighing the probe don enter for power. Ewo. EFCC chairman still dey for jail. Well, he no dey for jail anymore. Politician weighing the probe don enter for power. Ewo. That's what Nigeria is right now. And Omoyele Sowore and others. They decided to hit the streets today, demanding for the release of this journalist. That is your Nigeria. Watch this.
Can you raise your left hand up? Yes. Good. Put your hand down. Your own down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now! Free Ojukwu 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 now! Free
biggest owners of newspapers, radio stations, and TV stations in Nigeria. Yes. In fact, his TV station is somewhere here. TV.
Want freedom.
Why are they not arresting TVC and the nation workers because of the publications they are making? It's because of press freedom. But what we have heard is that the IGP, Mr. Igbo, has a personal stake in this matter. Yes. Because FIJ Nigeria, Foundation for Investigative Journalists, one of the best foundation investigating crimes in official quarters, wrote a story that linked the IGP also with a crime. But the IGP of the police has no right to use the police to oppress anybody. Yes. Because it's not his personal property. And we must remind the IGP that his time here is just a few more months. 4 months. He's going to leave in September. I heard that he's trying to extend his tenure. Let him forget his tenure will never be extended. Yes. He should go and ask Adamu, the former IGP here. Yes. He went and paid Buhari's boys 3 billion naira to extend his extension. They scam him. Tunde Sabi will scam him. Yes. Now Buhari is no longer there. Tunde is no longer there. The IGP is broke. Former IGP. Malami is not there. So remind Egbetokun that one day all of us will be entering Keke together. Yes. But whether he likes it or not, he must free Daniel Ojukwu now. He has committed no crime. It is the constitution that gave the police right, that gave him the right to be a journalist as well. Yes. So this is non-negotiable. The police must free him. But I'll say one last thing. The Nigerian Union of Journalists also must continue to stand up for what is right. Yes. I'm ashamed that journalists are not here in their like numbers. Yes. To come and put an end to what is now known as the Cybercrime Act of 2015, which is now being used to protect the criminals that are supposed to be in prison for corruption. Yes. So the IGP is hereby directed with immediate effect. I'm not appealing to him. I don't appeal to police. Unconditional release Daniel Ojukwu. Daniel Ojukwu is at please let me finish. Is at the SAID detention. I saw him the other day. If they don't respect it, we will mobilize the whole country. Yes. And shut down this country over for the right of Daniel Ojukwu. Yes. And other cyber crime or cyber security.
Release Daniel Ojukwu. Now, we are not violating any right by being here. Yes. Those who have violated our fundamental rights are the Nigerian police. Yes. Yes. On May 1st, Daniel Ojukwu was unlawfully abducted by the Nigerian police. Yes. That was not an arrest. Because he was taken on May 1st in Lagos. And he was taken to Panti. But guess what happened? The parents did not know he has been taken. His phone was taken away from him. He was rendered incommunicado. Just imagine your parents and family not knowing where you are. Until 3 days after, when somebody found out that he was in Panti, that was when Daniel's mother knew that his son was actually in Panti. And so he was, what do you call that? What do you call that? Police.
So true. It's kidnapping. And that is also one of the reasons why there is not going to be any real person coming to invest in a place where there is no law. There is no respect for your courts. There is no respect for the citizens. No real person will come and invest in such place because they will know that their investment is going to go down the drain. You are going to a place where lawlessness is the law, where individuals are more powerful than courts, where police IG can pick up a journalist with no fear or nothing, and he will tell you nothing will happen, and indeed nothing will happen. Nobody's going to go there and invest. So if you think anybody is after you or wishing Tifnumbu to fail, no. Tifnumbu himself will fail. because initially he is a failure that forced himself on you. And that is why Nigeria will continue to fail. It's not anybody else's doing. It's not a wish. No, it's not. But last night, Sowore had this to say, especially concerning the press freedom and Nnamdi Kanu.
Well, what you must know is that Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage on behalf of the famed unity of Nigeria. That's what it's all about. It's as simple as that. If you mention his name in certain circles, they don't want to hear it because they feel like he threatens the real estate called Nigeria. And his Igbo makes it worse because Nigeria's DNA hates the Igbo for attempting, in the 60s and, towards the end of the 70s, to leave a country they said is no longer favorable to their existence. But I keep saying, and I will repeat here again, is there any Nigerian out there in their majority who has not mentally seceded from Nigeria? Not many. That's why people are living in droves. Each time you get on a plane leaving this country is full, each time it's coming back, probably full too, but it is those who are coming back to pack their things that are coming back. That's the way I describe it. But the truth is that Nnamdi Kanu has been held hostage. He was abducted from Kenya, extraordinary rendition. The fact that he's kidnapped from Kenya could not be explained shows that any judicial pronouncement or processes after that is null and void. You cannot go and kidnap somebody and bring them before a court. And the courts have made it very clear, even up to the Supreme Court, that he did not jump bail. It was the military that went to his house to kill people, and then he escaped. And now you have brought him back, you ought to respect and restore his bail. That's what I told his lawyers. Why are you applying for bail again? Because the Supreme Court made all the pronouncements except releasing him. And I think it was because they were afraid. And that's why I say he's a hostage to this country. And like you rightly said, there are other people who have made even more egregious pronouncements and fought and carried arms in this country. And you have not treated them the same way because they're not Nnamdi Kanu's, their name don't sound East. And I'm not here to fetish being able. But the reality is that they are not treated fairly. And Nnamdi Kanu is part of the reason why that is clear to everybody.
Right.
And by the way, I must also reveal here that there are some Igbo elites who are behind this. Whenever there's a crime of conspiracy against freedom fighters, there are people inside and outside who are working together.
Now that's some very good revelation. If the Igbos decide to, or the Igbos, if they leave, if the Biafrans leave, they are going to create a very huge gap in the real estate industry of Nigeria. Huge one. And to some, especially some who kind of make so much money from the real estate, they will tell you the Igbos are probably the biggest customers. They are the ones who have this money that they want to start one big outlet somewhere, or they want to start one big this or something somewhere, and it's not government money. Do you understand that? So to Sowore there, that's a very good one, to say the conspiracy runs deep. Okay? And since Nnamdi Kanu poses that threat, the threat that continues to remind the Igbos that they have a place where their own identity, the language, the culture, the tradition is so similar enough that the coexistence could spur them to greatness. And that land is called Biafra, the one that has been so mouthed by the establishment to make it look like it's not worth it, but yet they won't let it go. So existing or releasing him, you all know that already, right? That one of the reasons why he's still with them is because he won't renounce his demand for referendum and for Biafra. He won't take whatever is being offered So they can't just let him be out there. Being out there alone, even if he didn't see anything anymore, if he doesn't say anything anymore, being out there alone is a different motivation, right? That will continue to encourage the Igbos to head home. I mean, if Nnamdi Kanu doesn't say anything anymore, all is said, and all that is happening in Nigeria today, at least as an average Igbo person, you should know your place right now. This is not a pity party. This is not us trying to make you feel like, oh, I feel sorry for the Igbos. Igbos don't need anybody's pity. Igbos don't need anybody's sorry. They don't even want to see, they don't see themselves as victims. But you know something? For the first time, they have started pushing back. I mean, in the past, you could shout them down and say, oh, this, that, and they will just avoid the trouble and just move on. And because of this, so many of these lies applies for so many years until, well, see this generation of Igbos that you see everywhere today, until they started pushing back. And that infuriates those who have become so used to using the Igbos as their punching bag in Nigeria. Why did I say that? Well, the Igbos are considered as a threat to those who are already oppressed. You are already victims of oppression from every part of Nigeria, but somehow, an Igbo man is a threat. And because of this, we can all see the state-sponsored profiling. All this evidence, right, shows to you that, well, it's so easy for an Igbo person, it's so clear to an Igbo person to know that they are not wanted. And then 2023 happened. 2023 happened, and it was so shocking, not just to the Igbos themselves. I'm talking about those of you, the Igbo, one Nigerianist. A lot of you were shocked to your marrows. Oh my God, that people could actually attack you because you look like Igbo or because you are Igbo. In Nigeria, why is that even happening? This is not 1947, 1944 Kano. But it happened. So those who are living the lie, okay, that Nnamdi Kanu was just looking for attention. Nnamdi Kanu is just a hater. Nnamdi Kanu is spreading hate. Nnamdi Kanu is making Igbos to hate Nigeria. Baba, Nigeria is almost 64 years old. Out of these 64 years, the northern Nigeria, they've been in charge of that contraption for over 47 years. And as for the southern Nigeria, including the Yorubas now, Obasanjo 11 years, and Tifnumbu 1 year now. Add all this together, but it is the Igbos that need to build bridge. Have you ever thought of that before? The people that destroyed Nigeria, the people that have been slugging it out among themselves for power, control, looting and sharing the Nigerian commonwealth among themselves. They are now saying that the Igbos, that's why I said that the Igbos in Nigeria, okay, if you look around and you are tired of everything and you have nobody to blame, why not just blame the Igbos? Because that's the normal thing in Nigeria. Some will even tell you, Igbos are the main problem of this country. Man, these Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. And you sit down there and be like, how? But they believe it. In the last election, a Yoruba daughter, a Ronuku Nazi, living in America, actually said this, in case if you have forgotten.
So long that we are not even challenging. To say that I'm not hungry is just, I'm just kidding myself. I've not been able to sleep. I've not been able to do anything. I've been awake all morning and I'm still going to work today. This is totally uncalled for. And we really need to check this. If APC wants to still remain in power in Lagos State, they need to check and clip the wings of these Igbos, the Easterners coming into our land and taking everything.
Somebody living in America. That was how tense it was. That's how tense it was then. The bigotry was almost like I'm talking about the level of politically sponsored bigotry that even those who have Igbos in their family, they were not flinching. They said they will kill them first if there is war today. All for APC. So it was more pronounced. So maybe that will make you understand the value of Nnamdi Kanu to the Igbo race. Is it a cause that somebody decided to actually open your eyes? You don't like him, okay, fine, it's all right. But he managed to actually make you think and see how you are seeing. But a lot of you called him a problematic person, hateful person. The time you were faced with that reality, a lot of you were so shocked. That shock is still yet to leave some of you today, Igbos, who never believed that this is actually how you were seen. By some few number of people who don't really represent us. They don't represent me. They don't represent the majority of Yorubas. But you see, that's their hateful, politically sponsored bigotry is so strong that the same hate that they've made them to have for the Igbos is the same hate they have for their fellow Yorubas that are not licking the asses of these criminals. So on our part, we are doing our best to make our people see through this. If anyone says they are doing all of this to protect the Yorubas or to do this or that, but yet the Yoruba land is almost like a desolated area where our people are now living like junkies, starving population, miseducated, uneducated, unemployed, unemployable population. They're making our people more illiterate as much as they can't read or write or they can't even comprehend. Are you not witnessing that today? Where the attention span of an average Nigerian is that of musu. I mean, sorry, it's that of a rat. Like that. They cannot read to comprehend. They cannot look at issue and think critically because they've destroyed them before they even realize that they are doing this to millions and millions of young Nigerians, and they are growing to become foolish adults, illiterates, who will live off superstition, hoping that something will happen, not things that are just from their imaginations and all that. They wish they will happen, while they support the total dejection and destruction of their own lives and existence, economic and otherwise, because they are raised never to have that kind of mind or mindset to think. Generation of prayer warriors. Generations who are looking for miracles. Oh, he's a miracle working God. This is the country they are raising, and it is intentional. So yes, when you see conscious people coming out to speak out like this, they hate them because you are considered as a problematic person that is trying to open the mind and the eyes of a lot. A lot of Igbos are losing, they've lost their businesses, lost their money, lost their houses, lost their shops, because they never believe in their widest imagination that politics could go to that length in Nigeria. But they are victims today. They probably would have been, all this would have been avoided if you did not join others to say Nnamdi Kanu is the problem. I'll leave it at that. Now let's go to that of kind of a mockery. I don't know if this is mockery of your justice system, okay? However, Adi Sirika, your former minister of aviation, that guy, finally, he was in court today. And his daughter Fatima. So they are being charged for 2.7 billion naira's fraud in the Ministry of Aviation. This is a guy that plundered over 400 billion naira. 400, yes, you heard me right. Over 400 billion. But he's being charged for 2.7 billion, and his daughter. How did his daughter get involved in stealing the ministry money? Because like others, once you become the governor of a state, the state's purse becomes your family's piggy bank. Yeah, your wife, your daughter, your sons, your extended family, even your Olushos, side chicks, they all have the ATM pin that they can tap from the state cover, buy themselves luxurious things, houses, cars, vacations abroad, even private jets. Depends on how deep the wallet of your state is. Same thing with the ministries too. Once you become a minister, listen to me, there's going to be tons of money coming to your ministry, and you have to decide how to spend it. Yes, you have to decide, and you can spend it how you like. And that's exactly what this Rika did. But he was in court today for just 2.7 billion to add to the show. So that you can think, corruption is bad. But take a look at the supposed criminal. He pleaded not guilty. I didn't steal the money. I spent it, yes, but I didn't steal it. How about your daughter? Well, she spent it on my behalf. She didn't steal it. I had the authority to spend that money. So I'm not guilty. Otilo.
Fatima. Ya isa. Fatima. Ya isa. Kid Allah. Ya isa mara. Annabawa sun je sun taru na mata abin da aka ce wasu sacrilege ba sun ji mana su ma za a shiga abin da Allah Fatima. Ya isa. Fatima. Ya isa. Kid Allah. Ya isa mara. Annabawa sun je sun taru na mata abin da aka ce wasu sacrilege ba sun ji mana su ma za a shiga abin da Allah
Until further notice. Again, my line is now open. The studio line is now open. I still have something to say just before I take that off, okay? So they tell the people that the Igbos are coming to take their land. Not because they have any real land, those ones that they are using the political bigotry to push their political bigotry, okay? So not that they have any land anyway, but they kind of push it to make people feel like they have to rise up and be violence to defend it. Here you get. So let me tell you something. There is this story, okay, of I think it was a phone call to a guy, right, who they said, oh, your girlfriend is pregnant and she has just committed suicide, like jumped over the building, and somehow this young man became so kind of depressed enough that he decided to just, he decided to just go and kill himself. And while he was also falling off the cliff to kill himself, then he just realized that That person that told him now, that person said, John, your girlfriend is pregnant and she has killed herself. Well, number one, his name is not John. He has no girlfriend. Okay? Talk less of having one that was pregnant. But it was too late. Because at that point, it was already at the bottom of the cliff. I don't remember the full story, but it's something like that. Okay? And that's what comes to my mind. Talking about this propaganda that these guys spewed. Hey, go and tell people that the Igbos, you know, everywhere we go, hey, you go to this place now, the Igbos get all these shops. Yes, the Igbos don't buy all the houses within this place. Oh, God. Very soon, this Igbo will be the owners of this lake also. If you go to Ajegunle, if you go to Kinikon, if you go to buying everything, they have shops everywhere. It won't be like say on Anambra a day when it is so not true. But because it is a planned propaganda, it will sound like it's true. I also saw that if you see all of them selling this akube, the Igbos, you see them everywhere. We don't even know how they are making all this money. They have bought all the houses in Balogun. They've bought all the houses at Saleko. Can you imagine the whole street like this? One Igbo man, he just bought the entire building and he's building a multi-flat there. Now let's now break it down. Initially, it's just to make you feel like it is such a bad thing that the Igbos comes to your place, okay, to invest where they needed to set up their shops. They pay their rent. They meet the landlord, who is mostly Yoruba landlord. So the Yoruba landlord who give out the shops to the Igbos to run their business. Then, what do you call it? The local government area, wherever their business is, we now go there and start giving them tickets because they have to give them ticket tax to pay some money every day. For those of you who have been to markets, all right? Now, the local government will make money from them, okay? Majority of them too, they are tenants in the houses owned by Yorubas or let's say by non-Igbos. So they still pay what? They still pay rent into that community, that same economy. Then some of them who are now beyond paying rent, they want to expand their business or they want to invest in the real estate and the rest of that. Then one Omologun Ajebiriki, one Akoti later, that inherited his parents' house, who wants quick money. The one that couldn't really work for himself, who wants quick money, is interested in whoever can pay that quick money. And he can sell his father's property that he inherited. An Igbo man with money, looking for a choice property to buy, to invest in that same community, that same economy. Okay? The economy whereby that is business, so whether real estate, whether buying and selling, is contributing directly, positively to that community. You are now told is a threat to you. It's coming to take everything from you. And the question is, what is he coming to take from you? That you are selling your own inheritance to those who are ready to pay cash. And they paid you. You blow the money, you join the APC, and then you hate the Igbos for now owning the property because this used to be where you were born and raised. It is now Chukwuemeka's Plaza. This is where you were born and raised. This is where your mama was married. This was where your papa built his first house in the 70s. You are in your 50s now. You have already sold the place. The place is now a business owned by somebody else. Then you met a political party that created no economy for you. Economy to make you kind of strive enough that you can become somebody like your parents. They did not create an educational system that will actually empower you, that you can become anything you want, and create an economy that will actually suit your kind. The people that took all of that away from you, then they turn to you. You need to be very careful. The Igbos are coming to take your land, though. The Igbos are coming to come and take your job, oh. Then you decided to wear the basket, the akpere, like a madman and a mad woman that you are. And you enter market and you started screaming, Igbos are coming, oh, we need to be very careful of Igbos, so our people, they are coming to take your job, oh. When a trailer can't jam you, when you are dying, in that your dying state, you now realize that, number one, you do not even have any land. Number two, you are jobless. You don't even have any job. Number three, you are just a pure agbero. In their book, you are just a number, not even a real citizen. All right? And what is that the Igbos are coming to take from you? But if you pay attention very well, who are those who are making our people homeless, destroying their houses, their homes, for development that will never happen, only for them to steal your land? All across the place, who are those who are sending your people to under the bridge, and taking their land in the name of your document is not genuine? Who are those doing that? Who are those taking your property forcefully without compensation? Your fellow Yoruba Runukus, the criminals who are telling you the Igbos are coming.
He has no job. He has
like that. It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. But since you don't join APC, it go make sense to you. You don't get house, you don't get land, you don't get job, you don't get life. The APC that took all of that away from you, election come, they say, the Igbos are coming, we must protect Yoruba heritage. Say Yoruba heritage not to be beggars. Bambi Allah, is that our heritage? They made our people poor. Come weaponize the poverty. Come now spread the fear of, they are coming to take your this or that. Say, what are they coming to take from me? Except these criminals who are going to be interested in taking my property. They have the power to. And they will tell me to go to court. I will never get justice. I will never have anywhere to run to. I will have to keep quiet and get ready to fight because the Igbos are coming to take it from me. Lebanese are not problems. Okay? Lebanese are not problems. Indians are not problems. Chinese are not problems. Our people are being chased away from their lands in the interland, going on to Ekpe, going to Lekki, all those Lekki Ekpe Peninsula. Our people are being made homeless. Their communities are being called shanties. But now the Igbo man, they come, can't take them. In our forests, Fulani terrorists are giving us conditions that if we want peace, they don't take over this forest. More will leave them for them. Or else, our women, our aged, our youth, our farmers, our women, our traders, they will continue to be the victims of kidnapping, attacks, massacre, burning, all the economic, sabotage against our people. See, our people are so poor now because majority of them can no longer afford the food they bring to them. They can't afford it. Food day, but they can't afford it. But before now, our people will kind of farm, grow their own food. But now they can't. I mean, you get money for ransom. Do you? All of these are the existing threat to us. And to you, we no get brain. These guys don't give a damn about that. Yoruba conservative Omoyele. You dey read all these misleading lunatics on social media. Majority of them are living abroad, though, also shouting racism. They hate the black. You see, all these white people hate us. All these white people, they hate us. But they are the most horrible tribalistic animals. You live abroad, Abi. You want to tell us about racism. But when it comes to Nigeria, you're supposed to say black to black. I'm sorry, the network is, I don't know if it is the network or so. It's kind of acting up. Apologies for that, okay? Sometimes it can be so crazy. And I might actually need to kind of like, let me see. I might need to kind of refresh the whole thing. So anyway, I just thought I should add that, you know, like I said, my line is pretty much opened. And I know that some people are already like giving it a shot. So sorry about this, okay? For some reason, I don't know, the network kind of acted up there, and I hope it gets better. So maybe you should refresh. Can you refresh your screen? Hello there, my caller. Can you hear me?
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's breaking.
You can hear me, but it is breaking, right? That's crazy.
Okay, it's clear now. Okay, now it's clear.
Now, yeah.
Now it's
so yeah, people should try and refresh it. Okay, refresh it. It's just one thing about the network and all that. Okay, it's really, really crazy, man. I hope it gets better, Sha. How are you, Baba?
Yeah, hopefully. It's on the great show and the efforts. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yes. Talking about traditional rulers.
You know what I'm going to do now? The African Wahala. Let me hang in there for just a minute, okay? Let me get out of this and see what I can do about this network acting up. It's so crazy, okay? But bear with me. Stay on the line, by the way. Don't go anywhere.
It will be good for you to look beyond
so I'm going to need
your office, because you are not going to be there all the time. It's good to look beyond. You see the elder statesman there, Chief Nnamdi Kanu, was once a governor. He's not anymore now. Everybody knows that it's transient. Everybody knows. But you look beyond. Look at the bigger picture. Look at how one day you can also sit and be, when you are no longer the governor, everybody can still give you respect. More respect even. It will be good for you to look beyond your office, because you are not going to be there all the time. It's good to look beyond. You see the elder statesman there, Chief Nnamdi Kanu, was once a governor. He's not anymore now. Everybody knows that it's transient. Everybody knows. But you look beyond. Look at the bigger picture. Look at how one day you can also.
I don't know if this will fix it. By the way, I really do hope it does. Or else it's just going to ruin the rest of the afternoon, and we just have to call it quits. Let's hope this fixed it anyway. The African Wild, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Grand. Really sorry about that, okay? So I had to go quickly check and see if I had to like refresh and all that, come out of here. So let's hope this one works now, okay?
Yeah, I think it looks better now. It sounds better too.
It does, okay, great. Now, thank you so much for joining me. You can unleash your own contribution now, kind of.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about traditional institutions and the mentality of the people. The people really, really need to change their mentality as far as traditional rulers are concerned. The respect that they have for traditional rulers, people need to pipe down on that respect. Obviously, what Nigeria has done is it made traditional institutions less powerful than political institutions. Now, for the benefit of the common man, regardless who has more power, if it's the politicians or the traditional rulers, as far as the people are getting dividends and benefits of living in a society that makes sense, then it wouldn't really matter who has more power. But in the current Nigerian structure, we've all agreed that the politicians are murderers. But these traditional institutions, these rulers, these Obas and Ezes and all these other guys, they expect us to keep on having that same subservient attitude towards them. But in exchange, they are slaves to the politicians. Corrupt politicians. They go behind our backs, collect money from politicians to enrich themselves. Politicians pay them money so that they will tell us to support those politicians when it's time for elections. But in reality, we are the only ones that lose because the politicians are wealthy, multi-billionaires. That's what the politicians are, from stolen wealth. Then the Obas and all these Ezes and all these other local traditional rulers, they get crumbs from the tables of the politicians. So they are beneficiaries of the corrupt system of Nigeria. And the only losers are us. And I know people get very emotional about their Obas. Some will tell you that, oh, our Oba is our God, our traditional institution is our God. We worship them. I mean, you can worship wherever you want to worship. But if you're worshiping a mere man that is a slave to a corrupt politician, then I don't have any respect for you. And you become a threat to me because there is so much power in a crowd. And if a crowd of people are following traditional rulers that have no good intention for us, then you become a threat to the rest of us. People really need respect that they have for these traditional institutions. These guys are useless. They have nothing to bring to the table. It's part of the revolution that we need to implement is from our minds. We need to stop respecting these traditional institutions. They bring nothing but poverty to the table. They expect us to be subservient to them while they remain subservient to corrupt politicians and nothing for us. We are the ones that suffer it. The same way that we are sick and tired of fake pastors, all these fake religious rulers, that's the same energy that we should put towards these traditional institutions. They all collaborate. Religious institutions collaborate with the political institutions as well as the traditional institutions. The religious rulers will tell followers, God put those politicians in power. Pray for them. They will do better. But we know that these politicians are drug dealers and killers. Then the traditional institutions will come around and say, Ejeka Digbo, fún APC. Yoruba ni APC o, Ejeka Digbo fún. But at the end of the day, that evil traditional ruler, whether it's the Alake or the Awujale or wherever, Oba, wherever, they collect money from these drug dealers. And that's why they have money, the traditional rulers, while we, the people, suffer. People need to reevaluate how much respect that they place on these traditional institutions. And that's my contribution for today, brother.
Thank you so much, the African Wahala, right? Well, I have another caller on the line. And that's my contribution. Yeah, hello. Hang on.
Hello, good
Is
morning.
that Charm? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for your hard work and all that you do.
Thank you very much.
Very insightful show as always. Sorry. Okay, so sorry, 1 second. Regarding the Oba, or the people who want to take the Oba to to court.
Are you properly awake, Charm? Should we give you some few
I
minutes?
am. I'm just trying
yourself?
to.
You're
No, I'm
right.
just trying to mute the TV. Yeah, I was just trying to mute the TV.
Okay.
It was too loud.
So I felt you're like struggling to kind of put yourself there together. I'm like, are you okay?
No, sometimes because anyway, I was just trying to mute the TV. That was why.
All right.
Sometimes it's a bit weird. So anyway, so yeah, with regards to the Oba of Benin, the people who want to work. Yeah, so I think because if you go on the chat, there's a lot of back and forth regarding the Oba, the institution of traditional rulers and things like that. On one hand, right, I have some respect for the traditional rulers because if you look at it historically, and if you consider that they were the first people to interact with the so-called colonizers, and they did put up a strong fight against the colonizers, right? So there was a healthy respect even from the colonizers with regards to those institutions, and the understanding that if they wanted to colonize people, they would have to pull down those institutions. They will have to neutralize those institutions in order to have a chance, right? So we can't, just, kind of like wave them away, right? Because of what they have become today, or what modernization and democracy have turned, the institutional rulers to. Because if you remember, these are the people that had to fight. These were the people that had to, stop the colonizers when they were coming, when they were trying to, take the land and take the people and things like that.
Yeah,
obviously, I don't know if you understand.
Right?
Exactly, they were the ones who resisted at the time. So there is a healthy respect. There should be a healthy respect for them. But what they have become today, and I say that is because of the influence of the so-called modernization and the influence of democracy. It's not an institution
like there's no place for them in this whole thing. To be honest,
yeah, there is a place for them. But
no, I mean like by law, there is no place. They didn't provide any place for them. They have no they have no influence. They have no constitutionally assigned role. They have no real role. They are just there.
That's what I think. They're just there, and I don't really think that they should have, in terms of the law and
more
constitution.
Right?
I don't think that, because it's the people. I feel like it's the people who, believe in the institution of the traditional rulers. So therefore, right, they shouldn't have any kind of government interaction, so to speak. It should be rulers to subjects, or the people who believe in you, if you understand where I'm coming from, right? Such that even the funding of those institutions, the traditional rulers, should not have anything to do with government or politics or politicians. It should have to do with the people, because the people are the ones who believe in you. They believe in that authority that you have. So therefore, any kind of funding, any kind of, administration or whatever that comes to you should come from the people and should be excluded. Shouldn't have any kind of government or politicians influence. Yeah. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from, but that's not the case that we have today. And that's, again, just like African, I think it was African Wahala that spoke just now. That's the point I agree with him, is that a lot of the institutions that we have today, because they work hand in hand with the government, and you have a lot of government, politicians and everything all over the place interacting with these institutions, right? They don't have the kind of voice that they ought to have, because ordinarily, someone was saying that, oh well, you're seeing your land go, be flooded or being overrun with cultists and things like that. You're not doing anything about it. With all due respect, there's not a lot they can do about it. They don't have that kind of authority, like you said. They don't have that kind of voice, because it hasn't been given to them. It has been taken away from them, so to speak, right? So that all that they can do is parrot what the politicians tell them to parrot, or parrot what the government tells them to parrot. But if they had separated that, separation of the politics of the day from the traditional rulers, knowing that the government doesn't have to pay your traditional rulers anything. If you people want to keep your traditional rulers because you believe in them and because you believe in their authority, then you guys fund them. Do you understand
so
where I'm coming
from? Take you back to what the African Wahala said, Charm.
Yeah.
Of what use is their existence now if they exist on the, today, if they exist at the mercy of the politicians not to serve the people with no authority. So why then keep them? You get what I mean?
See, that's it. But okay, that's one point that he's making. But
what you are proposing is that they should be given responsibility. Politicians have thought all of this, and they felt like they won't give them. So since they won't give them, what is now their purpose? Just ceremonial.
So, yes, in as much as it is ceremonial, but they can have some kind of.
But that ceremonial position is working against the interest of their people mostly. You understand what I mean now? Like imagine a king that is a land grabber, right? And also a land scammer, a first class king, right? Duped people to the tune of over 100 billion naira. I'm talking about billion, not millions, billion naira. Right? But the only reason why he's protected is
I mean, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, that if you have a runaway traditional ruler who is doing all of those things, like I said, right, in as much as the traditional, if we separate them so that they don't have that kind of influence, right, on the politicians, the government and everything, they don't have influence on the, on the traditional ruler, but the traditional ruler is only subject to only interact with the how will I put it now? The relationship is between subject and ruler, the people that believe in them, right? Exactly.
But people cannot be subjected to two authorities in the same space. You know that too. That's why they don't give them any responsibility. And that's why the only thing they use them for.
I still feel like to some extent, I understand where.
Yeah, you do.
I understand where you're coming from, right? But I think in terms of being a voice for their own people is where I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the fact that I know that there are people who are corrupt regardless, but there could be pillars in the society who will also speak against the politics and whatever is going on the day. Now, we don't have any of that. If everything that we've been saying on this part, on your platform, right, how all the institutions that we have, religious institutions, government institutions, and even now the traditional rulers, it's like everyone is drinking from the same cup.
Yeah.
No one is checkmating anybody. No one is checking anybody. Right? Whereas if we had traditional rulers who are not subject, who do not have any kind of, how will I put it, like they're not collecting anything from the government because the government is not paying them. The government is not giving them, okay, because you're the traditional ruler of such and such, you are entitled to such and such. No, remove all of that, right? Any traditional ruler that wants to live, should live as much as, or should have wealth as much as their people can afford, right?
I get you.
Okay, so as much as, okay, if Maiyegun were my traditional ruler, as much as I can give Maiyegun is how he will live. Do you understand? Right? So now, if Maiyegun decides that he wants to fly a plane or whatever, then he has to source for his,
But the thing about it is, Charm, I love your innocence in this matter. Okay, but I promise you, right? If it has to be the point where we all have to argue for and against traditional institutions, right? You see, the ones that we have right now, is so bad enough that in Kano, they have something like what you just described now. Okay. So what happened is that the politicians don't fund the Kano Emirate, okay, and then the government made an arrangement. So the arrangement is that there will be Kano Emirate could make money from their subjects. So a section of it was given to them like markets where they could collect some money for the Emirates. So they have accounting section, okay. So there is money that comes like in form of allocation to them, okay. So which means all they have to do is just account for it. But usually they never ask them to account for it until Sanusi criticized Gandola. Okay. Now what happened? They now discovered that Sanusi was actually spending more than 20, 30 million naira every day. Like Sanusi was spending tens of millions of naira in such a way that even the Emirate was shocked, but they were not to ask. It was not actually meant to be used against him. It was buying himself all these exotic, these classic antique cars and all that. But the bottom line is that these guys, they are not really different from the politicians, okay? And hang on. And in most cases, right? In most cases, the history of Obaship or traditional rulership and all that just means that the king can do anything. Do you get that? The king is over everyone. So who is going to, hang on, who is now going to probe the king? And if the king is found to have looted money, what authority would then have to go over? Because the king cannot be wrong. So that's why.
But unless I'm wrong, but the king, you have the king makers and you have the kings, and based on what I've been told, you can't become a king without the king makers. So there's still checks and balances there. So even if a king is misbehaving, the king makers can still call him to order. So it's not the king makers can never be king, but the king makers can call the king to order.
Because that's what the rule says, Jam. But in reality,
somebody in the comment section, I'm sure they will take me to task with regards to that. But I still feel that even in those institutions, you still have checks and balances. I think the point I'm really trying to make here is that some of these institutions have a place to play. The way we also admire the English monarchy, right? They have their place. It's not like they can influence laws and everything, but we still wait for the king's speech, don't we? We still want to hear what King Charles has to say, even though whatever he has to say might not be anything that the politicians will run with or anything, but it shows that he has a pulse on what is going on in his kingdom.
Yeah,
so to speak,
that too is also debatable. The king or the queen is the head of government in the UK. You know that.
But that's
it was constitutionally recognized, which means they have a role assigned for the king and the queen. Ours doesn't.
See, but part of the problem is that we haven't been allowed to evolve organically towards those kind of things, right? We've just been rushed, and then the biggest part of the problem we have is that the quality of the politicians and the people themselves haven't allowed this kind of organic transition to happen, if you see what I'm saying. Now, because you are dealing with a lot of corruption, we're dealing with a lot of, people who with bad faith, basically, in general. And now everything is so mixed up together. The people are so the corruption has seeped into all of the institutions that it becomes really, really hard to kind of for you to resemble or to look like anything that they have in countries like
take you back to the African Wahala position again. When he himself cannot deal with all this mess, he said, clear all of them out. And maybe when we now start sitting back to redesign, somebody like yourself, Charm, can actually argue for the importance of traditional institutions, and a proper role will be assigned to them. But with what they have right now, I think it's a lost argument if people have their way.
Well, I guess when you look at it from that way, if you feel like the institutions are not redeemable, but I just want us to bear in mind that these are the institutions that were actually
it is redeemable because their role, their role is so better. They are the closest to the people, right? But they were stripped of that. They were stripped of those authority, responsibility, and replaced that.
So you have to ask yourself. Exactly. So you have to ask yourself, right? So where did it go wrong? They were stripped of it because ordinarily it shouldn't have evolved into the current situation that it's in at the moment, right? But anyway, we can argue back and forth regarding this particular issue.
And I think change your position, right? That's fine. You've made your point too. Okay. Go on. Sorry.
It's not about me changing. It's not about me changing my position. I'm just trying to say that there is a place for tradition, right? But it has to be done right. And because of the way, just because of the way Africa has been so-called dragged into democracy and so many other things, right? Without the proper wraparound, for all of these things, So this is where we are. We have corruption at the highest level, infiltrating all the institutions. So the things that could have been of use to us have no longer been of use to us. We have to also remember that these institutions that were there, they were existing, and these institutions, the so-called colonizers, found it very hard to break through. But because of democracy and because of the way we have run our countries, we can easily dismiss them. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
I get your point totally. Right, I do.
So, and then, but again, it's not. We can go back and forth on this particular issue, but this is what my understanding is. And then, with regards to those people who feel like Igbo people are a problem, Maiyegun, I think you're doing the best that you can do to inform, and change hearts and minds. But I just feel like some people are a lost cause. If somebody who is living abroad can still sit back where they are, talk about racism and this and that, and still have a problem with another Black person who hasn't stolen anything from you, who came legitimately to your own land, used their own money to buy property, to create businesses, and to create wealth all around, just the way that you have broken it down for us. Because it's not like they go and they open up shop somewhere and that's the end of it. They open up shop somewhere, you tax, so you collect tax, they collect land tax, whatever tax, any tax that they can drum up and dream up, they collect from these people, right? They build all these structures, they build factories, they do all of these things. And for some reason, you still feel that they're taking something legitimately away from you.
Because APC told them so. And it's unfortunate that some people are taking that in unconsciously, thinking it is true. And to that, they have to stand up. And these are people who have nothing, who have no real thing. But for those ones who have a lot, who continue to push this narrative, they have no idea the damages it is, okay? I mean, how could...
No, I think they do have an idea, but they couldn't be bothered about it, to be honest, because as far as they're concerned, as long as those damages are not at their doorstep, they couldn't be bothered. They don't care. If people die because of this so-called bigotry, they couldn't be bothered, because once again, it doesn't have anything to do with them. The person who has died doesn't share a surname or anything with them, so they will carry on with that, bigotry and all of those tropes, and carry on, because it doesn't get to their doorstep. But my problem is not with the people pushing it, it's the people who actually believe it, and again, like I said, I will not argue with anyone who has those kind of things, because I just feel like I don't even want to know. I don't even know what's going on in your head for you to think the way you're thinking.
But how sick people are in their head to be like that.
I don't understand your thinking, your thought process, and because I can't understand, I just cannot be sitting at the same table with you, and I will not spend my precious time arguing with you. So well done to you, Maiyegun, for the effort and everything.
Bless you. Okay, thank you so much for this morning. Okay, you have a good one. A wonderful morning. I have another person on the line. Hello.
Yes, sir, Mr. Maiyegun.
Is that your first one?
Baba,
I'm going to actually survive if I go blind, though. You know that.
Baba, you know go blind.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
I'm not
so surprised that I could do a lot of things because I've mastered them. I've mastered voices. I've mastered tones, and I'm actually like practicing that to get a lot used to it new. But I'm not going to go.
Baba, nothing good.
Okay? Not yet.
Nothing good do you, man.
What do you call it? Baba? Everybody can hear you, so please.
Yes, sir. So, honestly, I just want to, what caught my attention was Cham, he was kind of struggling in one way, and I think what she didn't realize is
Cham
that
was trying to put up a defense for the traditional.
Baba, you remember that line? You remember that?
People.
You see, when it comes to this royalty, I mean, let me use the word royalty, traditionalists and traditional leaders, which mainly the head of them is the king in every tribe in Nigeria. Okay, in Igbo land, Yoruba land, Hausa, they have their home, which they call them, I don't remember. Well, anyway, but the main point I'm trying to make is that she doesn't realize that our people they don't destroy everything long time ago. Everything when it comes to when it comes to kinship, there is order. You know, there's a traditional order in which they attain that throne. So now they are not following even the due process. How many kings nowadays go to Ipebi? Baba Shebi used to be waiting at the call Ipebi round.
And now, because you have to go there and perform the 21 days a ritual.
Okay, so how many kings in Nigeria, Baba? How many kings in Nigeria? How many kings in Nigeria lost Ipebi in Yoruba? Because I'm Yoruba guy, so let's talk about Yoruba land. Oba made a long way Ipebi. Like our easy. Baba, like back then in the days, just for the other callers, so that's what I'm saying. If a king has to be chosen, it has to be done by the traditionalists. If I chooses the king,
yes.
If a king tell you that you should catch fire, I guarantee you it will happen. But they've watered down everything. Everything has been desecrated due to corruption. Corruption is a bastard. Baba.
It destroys everything.
Corruption
it destroys man. It destroys everything.
It's like a cancer.
Civilization. Corruption destroys civilization.
From everywhere.
Everything.
Oba, imagine they are killing kings.
They kidnap kings. Oh, the Air Force One. They kidnap king. Baba, see, king they trek for bush. Move. Mutefi. When the Fulani carry gun on top, he said, king, they raped his wife in his presence. They killed him.
You know,
king in Ondo.
honestly speaking, to be honest, I think all these things started from the day all these strange religions came to Nigeria. I'm talking about Christianity. I'm talking about Islam.
That's what I mean by they have now adulterated the whole thing. If you are now not seeing born again,
so they demystify, they make sure invalidate
in charge of in the palace of Yoruba Oba, and they will be telling you God is the highest, God is the most almighty, not any Orisha. And people clapped and we watched. Now we have political Obas, thugs.
So all these things Cham is saying, Cham already don't know that arguing man. They don't go far.
Cham is
I mean, they are just like figurehead.
No, Cham is remembering that beauty of tradition and culture and the influence and authority that comes with it. All those things they are now in the books, Cham. Maybe in the library,
they are just go to the history.
They are
now
history. Real.
I'm telling you.
It's all
they've demystified, they've desecrated. It has, in fact, do you know how many sacrilege these people have committed? That's our sacred, as in our core sacred virtue that we have in Yoruba land.
I'll give you two. Historically, right? Oba of Benin.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't leave his palace. If it does, it's like the old Benin is coming out, except for some traditional right. He doesn't visit people. He doesn't leave his palace. He's there, and he doesn't meet his own crowned prince. Okay?
Yes.
This is the tradition that has been protected for so long. But you see this current Oba of Benin, he's a regular visitor now to Aso Rock, especially under Bokwari and Tifnumbu. He also kind of have all this Oba is coming to. All that now is no longer there. Okay? So I really love Benin people that whatever is left, they are holding on to it. Now, the Oba has also answered that one that he can't meet his crown prince until the day he dies. You know, that's tradition.
Yes.
But there's a reason behind it. But now they said, no, Oba has declared that it's no longer needed. And a lot of Benin people kind of feel like, well, we are modernizing too. It is the same thing with Oni of Ife. Oni of Ife doesn't leave his palace. Nobody sees the on his face. Only on Ọlọ́jọ́ day. Ọlọ́jọ́ day is the day he will open his eye like this and pray for all of the children of Ife and Yorubas. Those who are looking to be successful in their businesses, those who are looking for the fruit of the womb. Ọlọ́jọ́ day is the day you will see the face of Oni. But when Oni, the former Oni before this one, became the champion that was using coffins to bring guns to Modakeke, to Ile-Ife. Ife Modakeke war. where they were killing themselves at the time. Shijuade was Abacha's a very good friend, a regular visitor to Aso Rock. About Olofa, you don't talk about Odipugon. Things the current Oba is now a TikTok Oba or new.
What did I'm saying? What did I'm saying?
A lot has gone wrong. You know, a lot.
Many things have gone wrong.
Many
things have gone wrong.
Thank you.
Baba,
for stopping
very
by.
sad.
Okay? You have a good one, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. That's your first one, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much that they have done to our culture, our tradition. And as for many other things that have gone wrong, our morality and every other thing like that, it didn't happen overnight. They happen gradually. Oluwopi, one of the 7 children of Okonbi, the son of Oduduwa. Oduduwa gave born Okonbi gave birth to 7 children. One of them, Oluwo, became the Oluwo of Igbo, the core Yoruba son. One drug addict came and became their king because he could give them money. Then he became their king and desecrated the entire stool. And he declared Igbo an emirate. And he said they should call him Emir of Igbo. Orisha is nonsense. All this Orisha. It's all thing. We need to modernize and Diweri became Larubawa Diweri. He will sit down on camera. About role Lori camera. Oba, a royal father. And there are so many others too who are like a land grabbers. Grabbing land of their community, selling them as cheap as they can sell them, marrying several wives and all of that, and then spokesperson for criminal politicians that gave them crowns and their staff of office. We have seen a lot. And I will stand where this conversation will take place and conditions will put in place to actually keep any royal institution in Yoruba land. I hope I'm clear about that too, because I love royal institutions too. But this destroyed one, we have to sit down and replan it. Seriously. Hello there.
Hello dear, Baba Gbalagba.
Baba. Is that Adiola? Or is this? Oh, Martinelli. It's Martinelli. Yeah. See, I'm working on my hearing kind of thing. Whereby, once you sound like that, you just open for my head like
you are doing well. You are doing very well. You actually tried with the first one. You do well. You normally get my voice, but maybe because of the way I came in today, that's why you didn't get it. Baba, I'm heartbroken. They don't abuse me today. They insult the hell out of me. They abuse me. They abuse me.
I don't need social media anymore. They abuse hell out of me.
Martinelli,
you know, it's because of this traditional institution. The thing is, a lot of people are still confused about it, and a lot of people think that because some of us are still holding on to whatever shred that is left of the, whatever shred. It's not like our life doesn't depend on it. That's what a lot of people need to understand. I'm a Benin man. I'm from Edo. And we follow culture, but the fact that we revere our king, it doesn't necessarily mean that if the king asks us to jump, we will jump. No, we are not stupid. The king knows that his subjects are not stupid. He knows. And whatever the king is doing now, he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it because he knows that there are some people, not everybody. He knows that there are some people who still believes in that. If the king should give up, I'm pretty sure if you ask the king privately that, do you believe in Nigeria or he will tell you the truth that he doesn't. So, but because there are some people who still believes in that tradition, the gentleman has to do what he needs to do.
Play it safe.
Just God bless you. He has to play it safe. If the king, in the traditional institution of Nigeria, cease to exist today, our kings, our traditional rulers, they will still exist. They will still survive one way or the other. They will survive. You know, you need to understand that some of these people,
any system of government that pops up, because
God,
a lot of us
they
actually
will.
do respect our tradition, for real.
Yeah,
like for
that's
real. No
it.
matter how much we feel towards these people, I mean,
they
for
will
real,
survive.
right? We do
They
have
will
this
survive.
connection. That's Omo.
Yeah, you know, I respect my king, but that doesn't mean that I love him or that I revere him, but I respect him like he's the king. You know what I mean? Like I will,
respect
you know, I will pay my.
that he represents.
Yeah, God bless you. I respect the institution that he represents for. I mean, and I also have some people. I have some relatives. I have some cousins, some friends who are also from Benin who don't want to hear anything about the king. If you talk king for their president, only
I've
bow
heard some
to
Benin guys who have been like that.
exactly. You know, but those same Benin people now, take them to Oba Palace now. Now they go first Dobale. Now they go first.
Oh, you have to.
That's it. You do your needful and then you go home. That's it. You know, so but that doesn't mean that, you know, we respect and we revere them. So, you know, coming to what Cham was saying, our institution, our traditional institution has been completely compromised.
Totally.
It has been it like from the beginning. And because they have been compromised, we cannot trust them anymore. And that is why this reset button that we are pushing for, it has to include them. Otherwise, we're going to come back to the same place that we are now. Because let's not forget that these same traditional rulers were the people that the British enslaved as the British imperialists. These were the people that they used against us because they know how much we revere them. They know how much we respect them. They know how much we obey them. And then we didn't have presidents, we didn't have governors, we had kings. So they turned all these things, and they used them against us. So we will never allow that happen. In terms of trying to, you know, preserve that institution, the institution can be preserved, but this time around, the institution is going to be monitored by the people. You know, it has to be completely. So we're not going to keep things, because if you're saying we want to reset and then keep traditional institutions, then that means we're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Something that the colonialists couldn't. The Nigerian system right now that rendered them mostly useless also kind of still keep them. But it's just that the purpose they kept them is what has to change. Like any one of us who found ourselves in that, you know, in that sort of influencing position in the future, because all this will happen, right? So we find ourselves there and we become policy formulators for our different regions or our different countries. If that gets to that stage, we must have it in the mind that we are going to be like creators who have to like craft how they want their world to be and the road they want to. So I think that's a very brilliant comeback, Martinelli. It is a brilliant comeback. It is. Instead of outright saying,
thank you very
because
much,
of the situation now, instead of outright saying cancel them, we should be looking forward to reforming them to fit into purpose that we think
reforming to what exactly into what we want. Now we go tell Obaseki, okay, this is what I mean, just like you have here in the British Empire, just like you have in the British Empire, the crown, they are the head of the government, but they don't involve themselves. You don't see them talking, they don't involve, but they have a lot
constitutionally
of
they are recognized. No prime minister, even after general election in the UK, no prime minister will be a prime minister without the signature of the king.
Without the there you go. We can do. It doesn't have to be like that, but we can do something along those lines. You understand? You know, because that's the kind of people we are. We can do something along that. We don't have to completely just abolish it like that. We don't. You know, there are many ways to this thing. So,
and Awolowo actually did give them a role. You know, Awolowo did give the royal fathers role.
He tried.
In fact, he reformed them.
He did try.
Back then was the one who was supposed to either dissolve government in the Western region or form government. It was only of
Exacto mundo. You know, even our Oba is busy twerking about now. He was a very, very powerful person back in the days, but we all know how things are panned out now. So let's not flog a dead horse.
Don't let us throw the water away.
At the end of the day, whatever traditional institutions that we have, it is to serve us.
Yes.
It is for our own purpose. So whatever that system of government or that system of rulership is going to be, we are the ones that are going. You see, the problem is a lot of people, especially Nigerians, they don't know the kind of power they possess as individuals. They don't. We don't. Nigerians don't know. They don't even know their right. They don't even know that police shouldn't even be stopping them and asking them. We don't. The average Nigerian don't know their right. So how can you tell them that, you know, when these reforms are going to happen, that they actually have a say and their say can actually, you know, can actually hold water? You know what I mean? So which is why people like you will always appreciate you, will always revere you, because you're doing a lot, like, you know, open up this platform and allowing people to say things that can actually drive some sense into people's head. Because like what Cham was saying just now, a lot of people actually misunderstood Cham, but, you know, Cham was actually trying to say something, but people just took it the wrong way. You get? So maybe she's not saying it.
So everybody
maybe she's not saying it the way. Yeah, you know, there's no need coming here to insult people. Like, there's no need for all that. You know what I mean? Because we're all here to learn from each other. Nobody, even Maiyegun doesn't have the ultimate wisdom. He's learning from us. We are learning from. We are all learning. That's why we are here. That's why we'll always be here to learn from each other. So, Maiyegun, thank you very, very, very much for this program. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Stay blessed, Baba. Cheers.
Good afternoon, sir. So that's Martinelli, ladies and gentlemen. I also have another caller on the line, but I need to say this to us. We will be rounding it up in the next, I still have 15 minutes. Okay. So we've got just 15 minutes to go. So I might take another call after this. But here is the one true emperor, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Alaikum, Baba.
Alaikum Sakpa, my brother. How are you today?
I am very well. And yourself?
Oh, I'm very, very good. I'm very, very good today. I'm actually at the office, but I had to call in today after Martinelli.
So anyway, sometimes some of this job that you see, we are so valued enough that sometimes we can take advantage of it. But that value we never.
They value me well now. They value me very well.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, this is not. This is not Nigeria that I was doing a job and they did not pay me for 6 months and they expected me to stay.
There. No.
Imagine.
So we can be very grateful. Yes, we can be always very grateful for the life that we have. Or every time we realize that there is also a threat somewhere else, to remind us that despite this good life, right, it could be turned upside down simply because we have a connection to Nigeria. One true emperor. We have been chatting this morning, and I bet you have a lot to share too.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot to share, but you know, the reason why I called was because of Martinelli. Right. Martinelli said something that actually made me look at him sideways in a bit. Really? He said that he said that not every Edo person respect the king, but when they see the king, they will do the little they will do. Martinelli, that's not being a man. If you are a man, you don't fall for anything. The honeyness of Ile-Ife, the man that likes big bum bum, even if I see him in my front, I will not prostrate for him. You don't give respect to...
Okay. For example, if you're like, why would I even want to go to his palace?
Exactly. Why do I want to go there?
Okay.
Why? So if I don't want to dehumanize myself, if I don't want to look fake, I will not put myself in a position where I will look fake. I will not bow down or want to be in the presence of any of these kings or pastors. Why is it that we Nigerians, we like to hold on to old glory? That's our problem with a lot of these slaves, holding on to old glory. There is no traditional institutions in Nigeria. These traditional institutions are dead. They can never be good. They can never be great again. Nigerians, stop living on old glory. Do you know how much is $1 now? You want to come and try and put up a defense for people that should have protected us a long time ago. You want to come and put up some type of defense, or you want to come and allow people to understand that oh, these kings can be changed. Imagine, Cham even said that we should be financing the kings. Has he? I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Do people really want to be free? That's the question I have to ask. Because if you really want to be free, you have to unshackle yourself from the money of Ile-Ife. Look at how they are kidnapping and killing people in Osun State. But that guy is busy coming to America, going to London, going to all these places, chasing women. And somebody is telling me that the institutions can be used for good. These people have forgotten that.
You are basing your own theory right now on the fact that this whole thing is messed up. The ideal thing is just to get rid of it.
Maiyegun, I'm basing my theory on now and in the past. Because in the past, these are the same kings that sold their people as slaves. These are the same kings that allowed the white man to come into our lands and destroy us.
Well, you know,
so the fact that people have some
one true emperor, right? For the sake of our listener, this is history you are making now, okay? So if we use blanket statement, is that going to be fair when the history when the history actually taught us that some of our kings back then, some lost their lives resisting these guys. Some got exiled for resisting.
Fine, Maiyegun, fair. Fair. But at the end of the day, me personally, Maiyegun, you know how I talk. I don't care how people perceive what I say.
Yeah, but I love the way you talk. I just at the same time I don't want you to ignore certain things that we could.
Maiyegun, I understand. Maiyegun, I understand. I know my history. I get what you're saying.
Nobody should sugarcoat anything anymore. You don't want to hear it.
That's my problem. That's my problem. Why are people sugarcoating the situation? Why are people trying to put up defense? Why, like we should not be putting up defense for these kings. It's the same thing that people put up defense for their pastors. You are putting up defense for people that never cared about you. You are putting up defense for people that are seeing you slaughtered and kidnapped by the hundreds. And yet somebody is calling saying that if they should still see their king, they go still respect them. Why do you want to be in the presence of somebody that you don't respect? Please, like Nigerians, just stop living on old glory, I beg. Let's move forward. Let us call it what it is. Nigeria is dead. And we need to break up and save lives.
Nice one.
And when Yoruba nation comes, there will be no monarchy. Because if you look at places like Yugoslavia, places like the former Soviet Union and other countries, when the people wanted change, they destroyed the monarchies and then the institutions. Maiyegun later, whoever wants to vex.
You have a very good one there. One true emperor.
Soviet Union and other countries.
Possibly second to the last call. Anyway, so yes. Hello there.
Yes, Maiyegun.
Good morning. Or afternoon, rather. Good afternoon.
Maiyegun, you're really doing a good job. May God keep strengthening you, bless you, protect you at the same time, you know. Because you need, if we talk of people that need God protection, you are one of them in that Nigeria. Because Nigerians don't like someone that is saying the truth. Anyone that is saying the truth is always a target. So God need to protect you because you're doing God's work.
Thank you. So
I value you more than any man. You are the man of God that I'm seeing. Not all this one. Somebody will come and tell me, man, who is man of God? That is always every time they're lying. Oh my, just keep it up, brother.
Thank you so much. Go on.
Yeah, in terms of this ownership of a thing or any those things should go to museum where they belong to. Where all this. Yes, they should be. I'm not saying to just be destroyed. Let's build a museum for them. If our children is growing up, that is how people know that they are moving forward. If they're growing up, they will be seeing the things our father did. We will tell them the way they enslaved us, the way they didn't care for us this present time. We will explain all those things. That is the history. Not that we will just We keep making the same mistake with the same people. Why am I respecting somebody who doesn't care for me, who don't even speak for me? Then I will be every time I will buy for what? Respect is earned, not given.
It is earned. God bless.
Yes, these people don't earn that respect by doing what they're supposed to do. The same people that enslave us, that one like that is not enough. Their generation again start working with politicians to deal with us again, and we're still protecting them. I don't know when we will start thinking we Nigerians. Those things should go to museum where they belong to. Like they don't belong to this generation.
Where our children can yes. About all those exploits of all those Obas, all those emirs, all those this and that. Not in this modern time anymore.
No, not in this modern time. Yes, that is my position. Any other thing, I'm not involved. No. No, any other thing.
Like a waste of time. Let's
it's just waste of time.
We are not erasing them, but put them somewhere we can always go to and just remember our past. Our future.
That is how every civilized people, every civilized country, that is the way they're doing it. People are saying like we should do them like United Kingdom. Are we United Kingdom? No. Do we have only one? United Kingdom have only one this thing that is governing them.
Exactly. I mean, one king.
Yes, but this one go to any state. They have one king there. The other one they have confusion everywhere. They're just creating confusion. And again, let me talk about the thing happening in Lagos with Igbo people and some Yoruba politicians. All those things they are doing, all those things those people are doing. Believe me, these are Arab people. The Arab people, Western people. These people have target for Africa, and they are coming. If you go to all these new areas now in Bejuleki and stuff. The people that own property there, they are Indians and the Lebanese, and they own them in mass.
Yes.
If these people take over the Yoruba land, is it that time it will be better?
Yeah, it will, because they will build gates. They will tell us that this is where our own land reach. This other place, so even though it's there Yoruba land, though, no be Yoruba getter. This one another.
No be Yoruba getter now.
We'll get to that stage.
This is how Morocco, Tunisia, all these countries started though. Yeah, they were black people living there before.
You don't understand that they are already making arrangement that some of the stores they are bringing to Nigeria, moving to that Lekki Peninsula, China, India, Lebanese, and so many of them picking up all that land there, claiming the sea, like thousands of acres of land right now, entering villages and clearing them out. Claiming all the land as we speak right now. Most of the things they bring to Nigeria, they don't go through the custom check right now.
No.
They are like their own. They said they have their own seaport already. They have Lekki deep seaports. It's a private seaport.
Yes.
For the Indians, Lebanese, and their friends there. It's out of Nigeria. Baba, you will see now. That one is okay.
I will tell you something. If you go to Sierra Leone, go to Guinea-Conakry, go to Ivory Coast, believe me, Lebanese people have taken over. Those people, they are becoming slaves to Lebanese people gradually. Not even gradually. No, it's even happening very, very fast. Most of the land there is owned by Lebanese people. If you go there and see the way Lebanese people is treating these people, you will cry for them. They would say, you see,
want for the Yorubas.
That is the thing. That is what is paining me.
Lagos is not Yoruba land. See this Ashiri people.
Some
of this Ronukuso who says that Igbos are saying Lagos is no man's land. Do you know that they are telling the rest of us Yorubas, right? That they are not part of our Oduduwa nation, Yoruba nation, anything. Lagos is on its own. No. Don't count us with your Yoruba nation. No.
Oh my God.
When it is convenient for them politically, they can tell the rest of us and say, we need to save Lagos. So Igbos want to come and take Lagos. So we will teach our children to understand this so fuckery, man. They can't deceive our parents, deceive us, and still deceive our own children. It's not going to happen.
We Africans, we don't know what these Caucasians are cooking for us, and they're coming. Instead of us to find a way to just come together as people, remain together as one, or as one Africa, We are leaving these people to just take over our we are tearing ourselves apart, bringing our enemy to possess our positions, which gonna be more difficult. So it's, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
We know. All of us know what they do. That's why we continue to tell everybody the consequences of every action. If anybody is sitting somewhere supporting any of this madness, right, we need to let them know that they know what they are doing. And we will tell them the consequences of what you are doing. All of us know what they do. There's no time to say we don't know anymore now. You see, when things are good, when you see good things, we know. When we see terrible, horrible things happening, we know. And that's why we will keep calling them out. So that when the consequences begin to happen, nobody will say, how did this happen? When did we get here? No, we do know. We do. Baba, thank you.
Maiyegun, one thing I have to tell you, there is an agenda for this other people, white people, to take over Africa. There is an agenda, serious agenda.
It's always been.
Believe me. Yes, there is serious agenda, and it's praying now. He's praying serious. It's like anybody doesn't see this thing. Let him look at Morocco, Tunisia, all these places. Black people was the one occupying those places, Egypt, and those things they are coming down. What does it call? With this Sudan has been divided into two now. The other side, they start casting, they start whitening the small. When they finish that one, they're still coming down. But people are not thinking deep and seeing what is our existence is under threat. But they don't see it.
Pointing them out, Mazi. Thank you so much.
No, all right, bro. Just take care, man.
Yes, man. So I think my time is up now. Normally, we could sit down here and just enjoy another hour or two or so, but that would deny us the evening prime time. I need to go and fine-tune what we are going to have tonight. What are you going to have for dinner? What are we having for dinner? In the Temple of Truth. Templars, I will work on that. You just get all your own culinary skill together. I will join you later this evening. So thank you so much to those who have been part of this brunch time. And if you joined us midway, you should watch this from the start. Coming up next is going to be the replay of last night's broadcast. Good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun dayari politico. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní
bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun àmì.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun àmì.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun àmì.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun àmì.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun àmì.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra jù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.